Hello and welcome to the Genuine Learning Blog. My name is Melissa Galasso, and today we're going to talk about a PCAOB spotlight on the use of service providers in the confirmation process. When I started in public accounting, if you were a first-year staff, you learned a lot about confirmation because it was your job to print them, stuff them, mail them, go to the office, pick them up, and then complete the information and fill out the work paper. During this last 20 years, they have gotten a lot better at making this a little bit more electronic by using third-party service providers to do this. So in a more electronic format without having to go through the mail. And so this is not staff guidance. It's observation and suggested procedures for auditors who may find this helpful. So this does not come out as authoritative, but it's really to help the firms think about this. And again, this is a PCAOB spotlight, but I think it brings up a lot of really good understanding of what we should be doing when we are relying on third parties as part of our audit. And so it is a spotlight titled Observations and Reminders on the Use of a Service Provider in the Confirmation Process. Again, because of these online third-party practice aids in lieu of our old-fashioned snail mail, many entities are using this to receive it from third parties. Sometimes it's bank ones, sometimes it's law firms. Brokerage firms are starting to do the independent verification electronically, and it's initiated through third-party technologies in order to do so. And the issue that we're seeing in practice is that the service provider, right, they're relying on the service provider's assistance to maintain control over the confirmations. That's one of the big elements for PCAOB is when you do a confirmation, you have to maintain control over it, right? You have to print it, you have to put it in the envelope, you have to mail it, it has to come back to you, right? That's the policy. And so the question is, can you rely on their processes and their controls in order to say that it was direct communication between the auditor and the confirming party? And what we were seeing in practice is some auditors were not considering anything related to what could be problematic here, right? So were they actually maintaining control? There was not a lot of consideration of the process. And so again, the PCAOB standard AS 2310, the confirmation process, requires you to maintain that control, and that's not relieved by using a third-party practice aid. Now, the standard does not talk about how direct communication is, but it applies whether you're doing it yourself or using a third party. Some were using SOC reports, but they were not addressing the considerations or the timing in the SOC report. So if you plan on using a SOC report from the third-party provider, some of the things that you might want to look at is the design and operating effectiveness, what came out of the SOC reporting, obtaining an understanding of the internal controls, looking at potentially complementary user control considerations that have to be in there, and also timing. If the date of the report doesn't align with what you're working on, you have to make sure you're having confirmation and discussions with the third party that this is still applicable to your work. So again, it's not a huge area. It is important just to make sure that people are thoughtful of this as we see more embrace of technology to do our audits in a more efficient manner, but we have to make sure that we're following the standards as well. So that's a wrap on this week's blog. I hope that you found this insightful, and I hope to see you on a future blog. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.